Hi, friends. I am Sweta Kaushal. Please join me in welcoming Tapsi Pannu. Welcome, Tapsi. In
Thank you so much, Shweta.
you announced the launch, we had this small discussion on Twitter, and some people said that everyone now claims to be providing opportunities to outsiders, but not many actually do it. So, how do you hope to keep things true to the essence that you talked about?
By my work, I don't know. I don't think ever in my any interview or in my statement when I announced, I have mentioned that I will give work to outsiders. I didn't say that. I said I need to give back to the people who made me who I am today. That's industry and my audience both. And the outsider's name is something that I am very proud of. I've always taken this tag of being an outsider with on my chin. Like, this is something that I'm very proud of because I genuinely feel the view is the best from outside. There's a reason why I'm able to pull off these kind of roles is because had a regular outsider's life till now. So I take it as a huge compliment. So that's why a name that resonates with me is Outsider. That's why I have named my production house Outsiders. I am not going to, if I start becoming biased, that I'm going to give work to only outsiders, then I think there is no difference between people who give work to only star kids and not outsiders. Then you are actually going on the other extreme end, and you are equally biased and unfair to the talent. So I never claimed that I'll only work with outsiders. I'm going to give opportunity to someone who genuinely deserves it, regardless of what background that person comes from. And I think that's fair way to do it, just to tackle the nepotism in the industry. That's not the reason behind making outsiders, because then you're just becoming the other extreme of that problem.
Very beautifully explained. Tapsi,
Thank you.
your recent film Haseen Dilruba received some negative reviews, and you reacted quite strongly to, I think, one or two reviews. Don't you think film is more a subjective thing wherein many people, different people can have actually different impact, and the film can have different impressions on them? Why were you so
100%.
touched?
100%, they will have different impact. None of my films has ever received unanimous good reviews. I can tell you that because I've read all reviews of all my films till date. None of them have I reacted, and some actually unanimously received terrible reviews actually. And I don't think anyone has seen me react till now on any reviews. Why this has been singled out is when certain critics become trolls in the garb of being critics. Criticism is, I don't mind, I've made a career out of it. If you actually go and see my filmography and you see the reviews of my initial films, they are things that people will leave acting, that horrible reviews. So I have taken it in my stride to learn from where I went wrong. And that's how I've always been very vocal about the fact I did not know my job at all. I've learned my work over a period of time while I was at work. So, and I don't take myself too seriously, but I take my work too seriously. You make fun of me, you call me names, it doesn't bother me. You can write a personal blog if you have an issue with the film and present that blog or a review like a personal blog. You found this and you have a problem with Tapsi because she only changes clothes and nothing else changes in her performance. You can write everything you want, but that's your personal blog. I am so used to hearing the nastiest of thing about me as an actor. That comes with being a public figure. You can't feel bad for people not liking your work. I made peace with the fact that I can't please everyone. 10 years back, pick up my reviews and see. You will see how nasty things I've read. So at least it bothers me, but do I dare not tell me that you're going to troll me role me in the garb of being a critic and I'm going to let it happen. And the other thing that appalled me, which I did not really strongly oppose, but raised an objection to, was the feminist lens of movie reviewing. Everyone is entitled to have a certain opinion. Again, but don't use a platform given to you as a movie reviewer, where you need to review a movie as a movie. And you are singling out one or two scenes and review you and making the whole film revolve around how you perceive those two scenes with the feminist lens, and you didn't have the acumen to actually review the film as a film and those scenes in context of the film and the story. And don't tell me that you will tell the character as a critic what she should have done, because that's what is happening. What is the idea of feminism is, you don't tell a woman what to do, what not to do. Don't become the female counterpart of mansplaining. So you are not the one who's going to tell Rani what she wants to do. She will decide what she wants to do. And you like it or no, you watch it, you like it, you don't watch it, you don't like it, don't watch it. You don't tell in your review that why has she done this? How can she do this? How can she accept this? That's not feminism. That's female version of mansplaining. That's what you're doing. And you should understand that nobody, especially two females, Kanika, the one writing it, me, with the kind of filmography I've had, will do anything that is going to be intentionally hinted at going anti-female. I think this much credibility we have earned over years. So just don't sit and try to dig things out to turn against us. So I mean, you're, as again I said, you're entitled to have a subjective opinion, but don't use a platform given to you of movie reviewing to present your subjective feminist opinion. See the film as a film and not single out a few scenes and comment on that.
So, do you want to talk about the transition that you go through while getting into the skin of the character and then zoning out of it?
Okay, both are slightly tricky, and I tell you this because I realized how it's going to affect me at a personal level when I finished Pink. I never experienced such a mentally damaging situation before that, because I didn't do such kind of films or roles before that. Once I was working on Pink, it became very mentally disturbing to make yourself believe every single day that you have gone through molestation. So much so that for the length, we were shooting the film for say some 30, 32 odd days. And every day for 12 hours, after a few weeks, you like it or no, you wake up with a feeling that you've gone through it, because you're just forcing that in your system every single day for 12 hours. So it does affect you after a point, and it doesn't leave you that easily. And it took me weeks, because I became so vulnerable that I used to start crying at like things like looking at a beggar, homeless person. I started crying looking at probably a national anthem playing on television, something as basic as that. I became very vulnerable suddenly. So it took me a few weeks. I had to go and disconnect myself, go somewhere out, and totally get disconnected from work, feel like life is fine, normal, nothing has happened. It was just a film. And it took me a few days, a total disconnect time, and then I came back into reality. And then I jumped into another film of some similar sort, if not the same agenda, some other agenda, but again something which had to make me go through a brainwash of making me believe that I am that character. From my mental state to my dressing sense, things change after every film, and my wardrobe changes after every film I do. My dressing style changes after every film I do, because I do those films for 40 odd days back to back for 12 hours every day. I end up leaving a part of real me with that character, which doesn't come back to me ever. So there's a part in me that changes forever. And this is the price I pay for doing the kind of films I do. And I don't know any other process than to psyching myself out into believing I have gone through that, or I am that character. It's force feeding my brain. into believing it. So it has repercussions of doing that, and I'm paying the price of that. But but that's okay. No, I think I've gotten used to it, and I love my job now. So that's okay. That's one side for this job that I've made peace with.
How was it with Rani? A very flawed character. She
See,
has her own
flawed characters I
concepts.
portrayed before. Like I was in Badla. Yeah, I was a flawed character in Manmarzi. I was a flawed character in Badla. Um,
But I think
what
Badla
Rani
and
did to me
Rani,
was,
yeah, please, please continue.
what happened in Rani was, it is a totally different grain than Tapsi. The only thing Rani and I have seen similar is we both are from Delhi. There is nothing else similar. I am not the person who will use this, my sensuality and sexuality, to my advantage. I can't do that. I don't have that whole ada about my presence, that, oh, I know I'm the alpha. That whole thing that I know I'm the one who's going to intimidate my man to get my way through. I don't have that about myself. I'm totally opposite. I would rather be more of a Rumi than Rani in that respect. So that doesn't come naturally to me. And I am not this mushy. This idea of mushy and clingy love, and that whole romanticizing the very idea of love, it doesn't come naturally to me. I am the most non-romantic person in all the relationship I've been with in till now in my life. So I've always, my man has been relatively more romantic than me. Getting aware of my sexuality and sensuality is what Rani gave me, which I was totally unaware of, and never used it as well, nor in my professional life, nor personal life. So that is what Rani has given me, an awareness about a female's sensuality and sexuality.
So is that now in your personality and your personal life?
Yeah, so yeah, it is slightly there. I'm slightly more aware of the more feminine side of me, which I don't really use in my face directly. I'm slightly more aware of that now.
Cute. Tell me, what's your mom and your boyfriend's favorite film of yours?
She just loves everything I do. So that is that. And my boyfriend, I don't think he still understands any of these Hindi films, um, because he just doesn't understand that emotion and that
He
heartland
not
and
made you
the
watch any of your films?
or no, he's seen all the films. It's they are too long for him, because all Hindi films are too long for too long a format for the Western world. And he finds it like that whole uh, emotional dramatic part uh, doesn't connect to him mostly, because that part of the world, like, it's like after Thappad he was like, it's the women who dominate his world in his part of the country. So he like was like not able to connect to certain feelings that I portray on screen. So that's why I mean, he's not the right person to even ask.
Right. Okay, tell me, which one project among your future films are you more looking forward to the most?
It's like choosing among your kids, so I don't do that, but I can tell you which one I'm very stressed about. And v- I'm a little stressed because I am again fish out of water in that project. That's Shabash Mithu, because I have never played cricket before that. Before this, I learned for the film. So I'm very scared and stressed about playing right cricket, because it's a religion in our country. So I can't legend that we have in Indian cricket. So she's very much active right now. So that is also adding to my stress. So and to third thing is, people who know Mitali in any way know how diametrically opposite personality she is to me, where I'm like an extrovert who is like very much out there. I speak my mind without thinking twice. I don't really have a filter. It's Mitali, on the other hand, is the most like well spoken, very thoughtfully spoken, and um, properly by the book. She's like classic. Even in the way she presents herself, she's classic. And I'm anything but classic. So, as personalities, also, we are poles apart. So, all this is adding on to my stress levels, and I'm a little nervous about how it's going to turn out.